Has it crashed? No, it hasn't crashed. Here I am still. I've just got a head rush from getting up from the floor because I just got the camera out of my bag. Bloody hell, hang on. Oh. You join me in Woodall Hills on Tuesday the 9th? Tuesday the 9th of December. We are 2 days removed from Storm Darragh, a little stormy beast that took place over the weekend, only over the weekend of the 7th and 8th of December, over the last few days, which coincided purely with the Leeds Countryway Winter Ultras, which I unfortunately had to reschedule. So I'm out today unmarking this short section of course that leads from Farsley to the Leeds Countryway. So yeah, very disappointing weekend for me. Really think that the storm taking place when it did really took the piss actually, because it didn't really threaten anything until long into Saturday afternoon and kind of stopped halfway through Sunday, but you know, smack bang in the middle of the event. Far too dangerous to be sending people out on my watch, with trees falling out of the sky onto people's heads. I don't really want that on my conscience, so unfortunately we had to reschedule that. So the rescheduled date will be Saturday and Sunday, the 11th and 12th. Try not to fall over. The 11th and 12th of January. I've reopened the entries, so there's going to be more entries available for that. And on Sunday we're going to do an out and back, a midday start out and back from Garforth back to Darragh and Elmet, which will be the last checkpoint of the ultras. So we're going to do a 10-mile trail race as well, and hopefully the intention of having that take place as well will be to try and recuperate some of the money lost from the event. Unfortunately, moving on to the end of 2024. So I'm still a bit rocked after this weekend, to be honest. You know, I was hoping to have this take place and then kind of being able to relax before Christmas and take a bit of a break, but we're back on it. But I am going to take a little break for Christmas. We are going to Berwick on Tweed. We've got Barwick in Elmet and Berwick on Tweed, where we're going to stay for a couple of days and recce the last section of the spine race, and that'll be coming up. We're going to film that if I can get the camera out in the blizzards up there. I'm hoping it'll be okay. We're going to spend some time there for the last 20 miles of the spine race, and the reason for that is because, don't tell anyone, Angeline is on the waiting list. She's on the waiting list for the Spine Challenger North. Now we know what she does. She likes to enter the biggest events. Bless her for not entering the spine, but yeah, people tend to go for the, you know, I've done the sprint, the Spine Challenger sprint, and if she's going for the summer, she's going for the Summer Challenger North, which is 160 miles. So she's stepping up from the Kerryway. 260k. She's a mad woman. So yeah, that's basically what's going on today, or that's what's going on in the next few weeks. I'm trying to rack up 2,024 kilometers before the end of the year. I think I might have about 100k to go still. So helping me today is this, well, it's probably gonna be a 20k jog. I've actually ran from Leeds city centre, from Woodhouse, when Angeline dropped me off before she went to work. Approaching a road now. Little road crossing there. Back in the woods. My markers are still there. So I'm still picking up my markers from the Leeds Countryway. And what I've primarily brought this camera out for today is to tell you about all the new races for 2025 that are coming up. So my intention was to announce this to the runners of the Leeds Countryway Winter Ultras on the second day of the event, that we would be doing a summer version of the Leeds Countryway. People have been asking for it. They said, why won't you do the whole thing? And I was keeping quiet because I was trying to get it all done in the background so I could announce that we're doing a Leeds Countryway in a day in September 2025. So the premise for the Leeds Countryway in a day is that it takes place over the course of a day. When does a day start? Starts at midnight. So midnight Saturday, midnight start, 105 kilometers, 24-hour cut-off in a day. So you've got the whole day to do it. I should expect some sod to do in about 10.5 hours, because I think it is possible. I've seen the record, it's pretty good, but can they do that at night? I don't know. But we're going to be doing, I'm looking for a venue for the first one, and the premise after that will be to move the HQ in the Leeds Countryway in a day every year to a different destination, so the circuit is completed in a different order. That should make for a different experience every year and a slightly different, so it's the same course essentially, but completely different order of which you come across certain sections of the course. So there could be hard years, there could be easy years. So, you know, you might be running North Leeds at night, you might be running South Leeds at night, East or West, etc, etc. So that's the premise of the Leeds Countryway in a day. Already, some of the runners who couldn't make the Winter Ultras have actually moved over to that race. So I think we've got about 5 entries to that already. But I expect that to do very well. Always take the cable ties. I want to try and sort of share the love a bit. And I'm going to share on the screen now all the races that were cancelled or need rescheduling over the course of Storm Darragh weekend, or the ones I know of. If you're watching this and you're local to one of those races, or you fancy giving it a try, I heavily encourage you to enter one of them if they've rescheduled, because there's no doubt in my mind that some of those races had spent considerable costs getting them together, even whether that's money or not, like whether that might be just the efforts of the organisers and also just the volunteers that probably agreed to get involved. You know, these rescheduled dates are going to be tough on the organisers to get sorted again. So yeah, please, if it's not my race, please go enter another race. But also, if you're local, please enter my race. After the Leeds Countryway Winter Ultras, we're going to be back at Kirkstall for the Kirkstall Calverley Cutter and Kirkstall Bridge 10k. Now, believe it or not, I think for the first time, I mean it's only the second time the Kirkstall Bridge is taking place, I think the Kirkstall Bridge is outselling the Kirkstall Calverley Cutter. So the smaller race, the shorter race, is actually doing better. I think we've got about 80 entries so far with a month to go, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing everyone there. Could it be a sellout? I mean, I'd love a sellout. That'd be a very nice start to the year. This race is never sold out. If you know Rawdon Billing, it's a cool little hill over in Rawdon. It'll be my first race taking place in Rawdon at the Emmett Arms. It's a nice little Sam Smith's pub, and the landlady there has been very kind to me and let me use the venue. She was like, we've got a stone floor, so you don't have to worry about the mess. So that was nice, because it's going to be messy. So the Rawdon Billing, head straight up from the Emmett Arms, straight up to the Billing, over to Murgatroyd's, over to Yeadon, up into the hills, not quite Otley, but it goes over to Carlton, and then comes back via the lovely Leeds Bradford Airport perimeter fence. So that's at the end of the race. So that's like a narrow little trod that goes round the perimeter of Leeds Bradford Airport. Now this is going to be a messy one. It's going to be basically a cross-country race, and I'm really looking forward to hosting that, because it should be a lot of fun. And then the final race of the winter season before we move into spring will be We Need to Talk About Chevin, and yet another new race. Chevin is BS, which is the little brother or little sister of We Need to Talk About Chevin. It's a BS category fell race to go alongside the BM category fell race, which is We Need to Talk About Chevin. Now, We Need to Talk About Chevin is an absolute bastard of a race. I'm basically not going to beat around the bush. Winters in Britain are muddy, horrible, not very pleasant, and the idea of like trying to sell a race on its beauty in the winter just makes no sense to me whatsoever. So all my winter races are just pretty nasty. So that's basically the Holly Hustle, the Leeds Countryway Winter Ultras, the Billing, and We Need to Talk About Chevin, and Chevin is BS. I suppose you could argue that the Holly Hustle is still roughly sort of autumnal with all the nice brown leaves around, but when you get to December there's nothing. It's just unkind. It's just unkind terrain, muddy, grey, and I'm not gonna pretend it's anything that's not. So the Billing race, and We Need to Talk About Chevin races, they are winter races, so you've got to be a bit hardy to get involved with those. That's all I can tell you for now. The full list of the whole year is on the website, but I don't want to bore you by going through every single race. Some exciting races in there. Looking forward to 2025 very much. Now, have I got a great offer for you? Become a Great Owl Running member and race all of our sub-ultra category races for free and get 50% off all the ultra marathons. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.